Normally the home of Major League Soccer's Philadelphia Union, but today it serves as the backdrop, the stage, if you will, for the U.S. women's national team as they continue their tune-up, getting ready for the Olympic campaign. Mark Rogandino here with you on USsoccer.com. So glad you could join us as we are just moments away from getting the first half kickoff going here at PPL Park. The U.S. playing their 13th match in 2012. They have only dropped one in the previous 12. That was a 1-0 loss to Japan in Portugal in the Algarve Cup, where the USA took third place behind Germany and Japan. And listen to the applause from the fans here at PPL Park as the ladies make their way out onto the field of play, led by our referees, Margaret Domka, Marlene Duffy, Veronica Perez, and Carrie Seitz. Should be a fantastic evening here. It is a sellout crowd here at PPL Park. Both China and the United States were out here training on the pitch at PPL Park yesterday, and it was a good contingency of support for the red, white, and blue during their training session as well. But this has been hands down unbelievable. Capacity 18,500. They will hit that number as fans continue to make their way across the bridges and into the stadium here over the next few minutes. We will take a look at the starting lineups in just a moment. The big news, though, for the U.S. women's national team, confirmation today of the 18 players that will make up the roster for the upcoming Olympic Games in London. And as Pia Sundhage put it, there was going to be some good players left off the list. How could there not be with such a deep pool for the 52-year-old Swedish head coach for the U.S. team to pull from? Consequently, some of the names that pop off on the top of your head would probably be names like Lori Lindsay. She will not be part of the group. She will be one of the alternates, though, and as we've seen in the past, oftentimes those players can fill a vital role. Just ask Abby Wambach and how things went for her back in 2008 prior to the Olympic Games in Beijing. So still tuning up here to get ready for the games in London coming up in July, but nonetheless, this the first of 4 final matches for the U.S. to prepare for those Olympic Games. They'll have about a week off after this one here against China before they make their way off to Halmstad, Sweden to play 2 games over there, including one against the host Sweden, followed by the third matchup here in 2012 against really the only team in the world that has their number right now, and that's the team they lost to in the most recent World Cup in Germany, Japan. They've faced off twice so far this season. As I mentioned already here in the broadcast, a 1-0 loss in the Algarve Cup, but Japan also tied the U.S. in the Kirin Challenge Cup back in April. 1-1 was the final of that, so the ladies of red, white, and blue will get one final opportunity to take a crack at Japan, currently sitting 3rd in the FIFA World Rankings. Your U.S. team sitting first in the FIFA World Rankings, and as I mentioned, 17 spots below them sits their opponent tonight, China. But this is a very young China side, a team that really is in a rebuilding mode. They failed to qualify for the Olympic Games coming out of the Asian Football Confederation, and they did not, going back to last year's World Cup, did not qualify for the FIFA World Cup, in Germany. So their acting head coach, Hao Wei, has the task of trying to rebuild this group with a lot of young players that you'll see on display here tonight at PPL Park. Our public address announcer Kevin Casey here at PPL Park running through the starting lineups, and a huge roar of applause for Abby Wambach, who will make her 179th appearance for the U.S. women's national team here tonight. In fact, it'll be her 156th start, which ties her all-time with Tiffany Milbrett for 11th all-time in starts in a U.S. kit. Time to listen in with our national anthems here tonight at PPL Park. Oh yes, feelings of patriotic pride flowing through it here at PPL Park as the U.S. women's national team gets set to kick things off against China. Quickly for you, those joining us here on USsoccer.com, I'll take you through the starting lineups. It is Hope Solo, the 30-year-old goalkeeper, who will start in goal for the U.S. across the back 4 from left to right. Former Herman Trophy winner at Stanford, Kelly O'Hara, starts at the left back spot. Rachel Bueller and Christy Rampone. the two center backs, and Amy Lepelbit, the two-time former WPS Defender of the Year, is the right back. From left to right across the midfield, it starts with Megan Rapinoe, the 26-year-old. She'll turn 27 before the Olympics at the left midfield spot. Carly Lloyd, 29-year-old, will hold down the midfield next to always steady Shannon Box. The 34-year-old picks up her 165th cap here tonight. And one key for this team, Pia Sundhage told me yesterday, is Shannon Box getting forward in the attack and helping the U.S. find their opportunities at the right midfield spot. Who else? Heather Ann O'Reilly, the 27-year-old, recently married a couple of months ago. Congratulations to her and her new husband. 163rd cap tonight here for Heyo. And up top, what a tandem this is. Number 20, Abby Wambach, as I mentioned, making her 156th start, tying her for 11th all-time with the great Tiffany Milbritt on the U.S. Women's National Team historic books. And pairing next to her, she was the youngest player on the 2011 World Cup team, and she leads the team in goals so far here in 2012 with 12 goals in 11 games. It is Diamond Bar, California's own Alex Morgan rounding out the starting 11. Speaking of Alex Morgan, she has pretty good memories playing against China. In fact, back in late 2010, she scored her first ever international goal for the U.S. Women's National Team against China. On the other side for China, quickly zipping through the starting 11, in goal, the 21-year-old Zhang Yu-A. Across the back, it is Wang Dongni at left back, Li Jua Ue at the central defending spot next to Zhou Gaoping, the oldest player on the Chinese roster, and the captain here today at just 25 years of age, Xiao Hongli, the right back. Left to right in the midfield, Ren Guixing, Liu Shuqin, Wang Xin, Han Peng, the four midfielders, and Zhang Rei, the 23-year-old, gets her second ever cap with China up top, pairing next to Lo Jiahuiye, the 20-year-old from China. Set to kick it off here in Philadelphia. These teams have met before at PPL Park, so it'll be the second meeting between the two teams. And if we hit capacity at 18,500, it'll be the second largest ever crowd to watch the U.S. Women's National Team. The largest came back a couple of years ago at Lincoln Financial Field in a win for the U.S. Women's National Team. China in the all-white with red socks will attack from right to left across the computer screen. And in those new kits, exactly what the men wore last night in a thumping of Scotland down in Jacksonville, Florida. 5-1 was the final in that. The ladies for the U.S. Women's National Team come out in those striped tops, dark shorts, as that ball skips out for a goal kick for Hope Solo. And the U.S. women will defend the goal to my left. Speaking with Hope Solo yesterday, talking about that she is finally feeling back to almost 100% healthy in terms of where she needs to be heading into the Olympic campaign. Just looking to peak at just the right time. Always good playing out of the back with her feet. Such an extra special component for this women's national team. Lepelbit here under some pressure, and she'll swing it all the way back for Solo. And a little bit of an errant ball out the back will give China a throw. So this young Chinese team, the oldest player, as I mentioned, on the squad, Zhou Gaoping, the 25-year-old captain at the center back spot, wearing the number 3. And in fact, their head coach, Hao Wei, has said the idea is to bring in a lot of young players with potential and see if they can transform China back to the teams that we saw in 1999 and into 2000. Knocked out, should be a goal kick here for the U.S., and it will be. Good defending from Christy Rampone, who is set to make her 4th Olympic appearance to go with the 4 World Cups she has already appeared in. Again, if you're just joining us here on USsoccer.com, the big news today, Pia Sundhage announcing her 18-name roster for the upcoming Olympic campaign. Morgan will try and bring this one down. Good first touch to get it away from the center circle. Now some width here for the U.S. through Rapinoe. Drives the cross in, looking for Wambach, trying to bring it down. And it'll pop loose here for Han Peng. Peng, good movement to get around O'Reilly. hits the brakes, looking for some attacking help, serves it inside. And now it's Pong again. Little string of possession here for China in the opening moments of this one. Look how many numbers the U.S. get in there defensively, though, and consequently Abby Wambach will come away with it. Morgan trying to open things up down this right side, but China again there to shut things down. Wei Xing sends it back inside, and now all the way across from Zhang Rui. Pressure from behind by Carly Lloyd. Does just enough to knock the ball loose for a moment. You can almost guarantee for a young team like this in China, it's going to have to be virtually mistake-free the entire evening if they want to have any shot. Good defending from Kelly O'Hara there. She pushes it away. And it pops loose here for Han Peng. The 22-year-old will send it back. Support here from Zhao Gaoping. Morgan will chase as Dong Ni runs across to it. Back inside for Xu Qin. Zhao Hui'e asking for the long diagonal ball, and it'll pop all the way through. Solo hesitated for a moment. China coming in on the attack. That one scrapes off the crossbar. So the best opening look here in the first 4 minutes of play, and it goes to China. Go back and take a look at it. I think there was a hint of offside maybe as the 22-year-old Han Peng came across. I thought initially Hope Solo was going to come out and try and win that ball out at the top of the 18, but she retreated back to her line. And in this instant, it works out. Chance of USA already in the early going, starting to ring out here in Chester, Pennsylvania. Morgan settling it amongst a couple of Chinese defenders. Rapinoe finds box. Rapinoe has done a great job so far here in 2012, earning back that spot at the outside left midfield. Who can forget the beautiful cross she sent in the waning moments against Brazil for Abby Wambach to head home the goal in the quarterfinals of the World Cup back in 2011. Morgan. Back for Kelly O'Hara. Now Rapinoe. Excuse me, Rampone. Lepelbit, no pressure. The long route forward, looking for Alex Morgan, but that one will slip into the gloves of Zhang Yue. This U.S. team was treated to a lot of nice cheers from the fans immediately when they came out to warm up for the match. As a whistle from Margaret Domke will give the U.S. a free kick near midfield. The support has been incredible. Bueller. Well-weighted ball forward here for Rapinoe. She can bring it down against Hong Li. Oh, pushes it between her legs. Opening chance, good skill from Rapinoe, and she tries to call her own number, but the near post is there to knock it out, and I think Zhang Yue had it covered as well. Watch the skill here from the former Portland Pilot. Nutmegs the defender, Zhao Hong Li, and then on her way in, probably could have been a little more unselfish, as you see Abby making the darting run right to the top of the area. Gaoping up and over the top. Christy Rampone has that marked out. And she'll touch it back for Hope Solo. Good composure from the U.S. goalkeeper. Rampone recently going over the 20,000 minute mark. I mentioned 4 World Cups, and she'll be heading to her 4th Olympic Games. She joins a pretty good group of names in getting to 20,000 minutes. Mia Hamm, Joy Fawcett, Julie Foudy, and Christine Lilly, the only other 4 players to do so in a U.S. women's national team kit. Solo looking for one of the best targets in the women's game in Abby Wambach right there at midfield. A little push in the back will give the U.S. a free kick. In my discussions with head coach Pia Sundhage yesterday, really one of the focuses for this team heading into the 2012 Olympics in London, as O'Reilly plays this one out wide for Carly Lloyd. And coming across the top here, and that shot will go wide off the left foot of Alex Morgan. As I was saying, one of the really big features for this U.S. women's national team heading into the 2012 Olympic Games in London is the fact that it's not so much a team as it was in 08 built around defense. Yes, they still have great goalkeeping in Hope Solo, great defenders at the back in Christy Rampone, Rachel Bueller, Amy Lepelbit. But it's more about what this team can do in the offensive third of the field and getting forward, how dangerous they can be with pieces like Alex Morgan, Abby Wambach. You have Lauren Cheney, Amy Rodriguez available off the bench. Sydney Leroux. She was recently the U.S. Young Female Athlete of the Year after a standout collegiate campaign at UCLA. She has now become a very dangerous threat for Pia Sundhage. What about this player here, Kelly O'Hara? She plays the left back spot, but just asked anyone that was in the then Pac-10 about her abilities to get forward and score goals. She did a ton of that during her time at Stanford. The U.S. will settle in for a little possession for a moment. Alex Morgan and Abby Wambach collide, and as you would imagine, Morgan not quite as tall as Abby took the worst of the collision. China's going to try and play through it as this ball goes out. And obviously some concern, although Abby did just motion over to the U.S. bench not to come on quickly in terms of bringing the trainer on. When the two bodies collided, actually initially you could almost see Abby look at Alex Morgan saying, we know our roles here. We're very different strikers. I'm the one that's supposed to win those balls out of the air. You're the one that's supposed to be running off of it. But give credit to the young 22-year-old. She wants to have her opportunities to try and win a ball in the air as well. U.S. women with a pretty good record all time in Philadelphia. 8 games to be exact. During that time, 22 goals for to just 6 goals against. And this team offensively has become very sharp under the guidance of Pia Sundhage since she took over late in 2007. Really, the team averages almost 2.5 goals a game. And as we know, defensively, they have been very stout as well. Here's Lepelbit. Has help inside with Carly Lloyd. Instead, the long diagonal ball to create some space now for Rachel Bueller. A little heavy on the first touch, but it worked out well. Up and over the top, looking for Rapinoe, but that one too heavy, and it'll drift out for a goal kick here for China. Zhang Yue, the 21-year-old goalkeeper here for China, set to put it back into play. Hasn't really been tested so far here in the opening 12 minutes. But she knows she's probably in for a busy evening here tonight. Early ball from O'Reilly to try and spring Morgan. Kicking it into another gear to get to the end line. Driven across. And good defending there from Jia Yue. And it looks like we have an injured player for China back near midfield. I believe it's the captain, Zhou Gaoping, limping back to her left back spot. The chance of USA start to build again. Rapinoe well positioned to win it back here for the red, white, and blue. Now Buehler, as the U.S. will swing it across the back. No real pressure here from China. Box. O'Reilly was asking for it early, didn't initially get it, and the second chance effort from the feet of Morgan bounces out for a throw here for China. China coming off of a 1-0 win at Portugal. The second half goal propelled them to a win. Actually only their second win of 2012 of the 7 matches they played. They opened with a win, against CONCACAF rivals Mexico to begin the year back in January. But if you look at this string of results for this young Chinese team, it's actually not too bad. A couple of 1-0 losses to teams like Germany and Sweden. Early ball across and nearly an own goal as it's deflected out by the Chinese defense, and the U.S. will have their first corner of the night. Rapinoe with that sharp ability to provide good service will trot over in the shadows of the Commodore Barry Bridge, right into the heart of the area. Abby Wambach, probably the biggest target in there. She was bracketed by 2 Chinese defenders, and it'll come out near the China bench for a throw for the U.S. Scoreless here at PPL Park with nearly a quarter of an hour behind us here in the first half. Mark Rogandino, and happy to have you along here on USsoccer.com. Live coverage of a international friendly here between the U.S. and China. U.S. brings a 16-match unbeaten run against China into the game here tonight, dating all the way back to March of 2003 when the U.S. earned a 2-0 win. Wei Xing could not hold it there for China. Instead, it's Shannon Box looking to slip it forward for O'Reilly, but shepherded out there by Gaoping, and a goal kick here for China. Heather O'Reilly picking up cap number 163 here tonight. Already a 2-time gold medalist and looking for the hat trick when the team heads to London. Just over the head of Rampone, but able to recover. Clears it back out to midfield, but it's China there to win the first ball. Zhang Rui. And now wide for Gaoping. Early ball into the feet of Han Pong. Oh, pops loose here for China, looking to create a chance. Wei Xing couldn't get off the shot. The window closed very quickly, and out wide for Wang Xin. Good run off the ball. Ball pops loose here. And Han Pong could not quite get a good contact on the ball with her right foot, and consequently Hope Solo will set up for the goal kick. Hope Solo now applying her trade at the club level with the Seattle Sounders women's team out there in the Pacific Northwest. Box furthers it on, looking for O'Reilly. Christy Rampone with the inside track to get there, and the veteran defender cuts it back against the pressure. Now Box. Truly one of the best central midfielders in the women's game without question. And it looks like we might see our first card of the night, and we do. Ren Wei Xing will be the first name into the books of Margit Domke. Because it is an international friendly here, both teams allowed 6 substitutions throughout the course of the match. And you would imagine that both coaches will probably get close to that number. Solo lumping it forward, looking for her teammate, Abby Wambach. Pops loose. Lloyd, Wambach, O'Reilly. Surrounded by two Chinese defenders and knocked out off of the right foot of Han Pong. Lepelbit. Corner number 2 coming here in the 19th minute of play. It'll be the first from this near side of the field here at PPL Park. The first did not produce much of an opportunity for the U.S. See if Megan Rapinoe can find a target here on the second one. Abby Wambach trying to find some space on the backside. It's lofted in her direction. Headed away by Zhang Rei. Still alive though. Shannon Box cutting back onto her right foot, trying to find some freedom away from a couple of Chinese defenders. Bueller in there, it's Carly Lloyd, but she skies it up and over the crossbar. Not a bad look for the former Rutgers University product. Sitting in the right space just inside the 18 as the ball popped loose, but the volley was off target. Box wins the first ball in the midfield. Bueller now for O'Reilly. Much better now from the U.S. as they start to settle in with some possession. This is what you'll see from this team, which is almost like a new feature now. They really become 3 at the back as Kelly O'Hara pushes up from the left back spot to almost become a 5th midfielder. And you'll see Rachel Bueller slide over and become that left back. Because they can be so solid in possession, as a late whistle will give China a free kick, they have the ability to push a 4th defender forward and almost turn the formation from a 4-4-2 into a 3-5-2. "20 minutes and change gone here in the first half, and we are still scoreless." Now Ping, Han Pong, turnover. U.S. quickly look to counter. It starts with Alex Morgan here on the right side. O'Reilly making the inside overlapping run. Christy Rampone will win it at midfield. Early ball. O'Reilly held her run in time. Cuts it back inside here for Alex Morgan. Left foot, the first save. Carly Lloyd, and it's deflected wide. Oh, what a look there for Carly Lloyd. She had one moments ago that she skied over the crossbar, but this one was earmarked for the lower corner, if not for the Chinese defense. Great exchange from O'Reilly and Morgan. Good first save there from UA. And I think Carly Lloyd even thought that she was going to be able to just tuck that one home right there, as it was knocked out. Ensuing corner. Chance on the back post, and Shannon Box heads it wide. So maybe a little bit of a slow start so far here in the first half for the U.S., but certainly over the last 6-7 minutes, the ladies of red, white, and blue have started to build up with good pressure and 2 fantastic looks in the last couple of moments. Knocking on the door. The question is can they swing it open here in the next few moments? You would think for China they had to be very pleased with the opening 15 minutes and how they played, stringing together a couple of chances, and in fact they had the best chance of the game in the early going. As Han Pong pinged one off of the crossbar. Ball pops loose. Jia Huiye. Ray, the attacking run. Ray looking for the far side, and it's China who takes the lead. Lackadaisical at the back. The U.S. give up the ball, and China at the midway point of this opening half, have scored the game's first goal. It actually initially all started with a long ball toward Rachel Bueller in the middle of the field. Didn't have enough muscle behind it, but then this sequence unfolded, and right there, what is Hope Solo to do? You can see her trying to protect the near side. That's the first order of business, is not get beat there at the near post. And with a wide open far post, it's actually a good finish from the 23-year-old Zhang Rei, who tallies her first goal in a Chinese uniform. Just the second ever cap for the 23-year-old striker. And she's a part of that core of young talent for Coach Hao Wei that they will be looking to in the future to appear often for China. And now for Pia Sundhage and the U.S. women's national team, the buzzword becomes response. How do they deal with going down a goal here with a pro-U.S. crowd here at PPL Park? As I said, everything has been seemingly going in their favor in the last 10 minutes after a good opening few minutes for China. But it's China who get the game's first goal. Hope Solo now. Rapinoe, good hard work by Megan Rapinoe to win it back, but she's whistled for the challenge. And I'm with the mindset of the 18,500 here at PPL Park. Looked like a legitimate challenge from the 26-year-old midfielder to win the ball back. Nonetheless, back to live action. Flag comes up, offside against China. The offside occurred first. Margaret Domke is pointing for a free kick here. And she gets it straight. The far side AR, Veronica Perez on that side. The offside occurred before the foul right at the top of the 18. And it took a second for Domke to get it, but she did get it right. Morgan, excellent first touch. Wambach lets it run through, leaves it there for Rapinoe. Looking for the big switch and all sorts of space here for Amy Lepelbit. Drifting ball through, a bit ambitious. No real intended target, although I think Heather O'Reilly was the closest player for the U.S. As you might imagine, the goal here for China has brought the decibel level down just a little bit. Here comes China looking for another one. Xu Quinn cutting it back, but Rachel Bueller anticipating the pass, and she steps in to win the possession here for the U.S. Alex Morgan trying to flick that one through for Abby Wambach, who is making the attacking run. I think for Pia Sundhage at this point right now, Abby Wambach comes in with a hard challenge. The one thing you might be concerned about is the lack of play through the midfield. Yes, you've got a great target in Abby Wambach up top, but your ability to link through the midfield and not just bypass, we haven't seen a ton of that so far here in almost 27 minutes. Good pressure from Box coming from the backside to win it back for the U.S. China, though, able to regain possession. Not the best of numbers in the attack. And deflected out by Rachel Bueller to give China their first corner on the night. And it goes without saying that the U.S. obviously has a big height advantage when it comes to the set pieces here. We bring players back like Shannon Box, Christy Rampone, and Abby Wambach, and then you have the athleticism of some of your other defenders to be able to jump and clear the ball. Liu Shu Quinn will take the first corner on the night for China. Short corner. China knows they don't have that height advantage either. Loose ball inside the area. Almost a poor clearance at the back by Abby Wambach, and you immediately see her put up her hand. Hope Solo will give everyone time to find their shape. USA with 5 shots on goal now. Excuse me, 1 shot on goal. Shots overall, 5-3 in favor of the U.S. And 3-1 on corners right now for the U.S. Hard tackle from Box. O'Reilly comes in to clean things up. Going to play the early ball over the top. Off and running down the right side is Carly Lloyd, and she mishit it. Almost a microcosm of how things have gone in the opening 30 minutes here. Excuse me, it was Abby Wambach coming down the right side that mishit it. Our mistake. U.S. hasn't been at their sharpest so far here in the match in the first half, but obviously tons of soccer left to play here at PPL Park. Box trying to win it, pops out wide. Wang Xin will play it back in support there for Hong Li. China has had to pick and choose their moments when they go forward, but obviously one of them has worked out so far as they have the 1-goal advantage. Morgan looking to touch it out into the feet of Rapinoe, and the heavy touch goes out for a throw for China. Alex Morgan, as I mentioned at the top, the leading goal scorer here in 2012 for the U.S. women's national team. 12 goals in 11 games. Quarter of an hour remaining here in the first half. And the fans here at PPL Park are anxious. Carly Lloyd will bring it out to this near side, trying to create some width here for the U.S. Surrounded by 2, and it's finally knocked out off of the midfielder, Han Pong. The Pelbit on the throw, looking for Wambach. He came through for Carly Lloyd, tripped up inside the area, but I think Margaret Donka got it right. Carly Lloyd telling me yesterday that she feels maybe the fittest she's ever felt going into a major tournament. And she's had a fantastic 2012 already. Remember, she was a crucial component, including the game winner in the 2008 Olympic final against Brazil. But she's already twice been named player of the match in qualifying, including a hat trick against Mexico and another goal in the semifinal against Costa Rica. Good step in there from Kelly O'Hara, but then the U.S. turn it over for a moment. Morgan can't complete the pass out wide for Heather O'Reilly. And a handball will be whistled against China to give the U.S. a free kick here at midfield. Christy Rampone, cap number 257 here tonight at PPL Park. She played the most minutes of any player on the roster so far in 2012, coming into the game with 990 minutes. Morgan nods it down. China able to clear, but still maybe a second bite of the cherry here for the U.S. Heather O'Reilly looking for an opening to play the ball into. And not the best of touches there back from Carly Lloyd, so it's out for a throw for China. A little bit of frustration starting to boil out from some of the U.S. players, and why not? As I said moments ago, it maybe hasn't been their sharpest opening 33 minutes and change. And add to the fact that they trail by a goal. O'Reilly getting to the end line, serves it back across. Morgan for the corner! 1-1. Just as I mentioned the word frustration, a cool, calm Alex Morgan tucks it home in the far corner. A screen in front of the Chinese goalkeeper Zhang Yue, and nothing China could do about it as the U.S. tie things up at 1-1. The 34th minute strike is the 13th of 2012 and the 23rd of her career. You look at Alex Morgan picking up cap number 39 here tonight. So she's almost good for a goal every other game. And now, just as I used the word response for the U.S., after China took the lead 1-0. With about 10 minutes left to play here in the first half, you can bet the U.S. is hungry for a second before they head to the locker room. And here's a great opportunity to find that second. Megan Rapinoe standing over the free kick, drives it in toward the near post, but they're going to line it up one more time. There was a little bit of pushing and tugging on jerseys on the back post of the 18-yard box. Good news for the U.S. Megan Rapinoe will get another crack at delivering a good ball into the area. So here's the 26-year-old Rapinoe. This time all the way onto the back post, and some good numbers there, including Shannon Bach. She's knocked loose, and the ball on the floor. It's an own goal. We'll have to take a look at the replay and see who it indeed is credited to. Could it be goal number 135 for Abby Wambach? It looked, from my first glance, like it might have been a Chinese player to last touch it. Shannon Bach takes a hit right there, and indeed it is. On the back post, an own goal knocked in by one of the Chinese defenders. It's the captain, Zhou Gaoping. That will be credited with the own goal, but the fans here at PPL Park know it counts nonetheless. And for the first time tonight, the U.S. women's national team are in front. And now how much more of a headache is it for China, the fact that they gave Megan Rapinoe a second chance opportunity to line up that free kick? Because the first one really was an easy clearance for the Chinese defense, only to see Rapinoe get a second chance opportunity to step up and drive in a better ball onto the back post for Shannon Bach, who found the head of Abby Wambach, and then the ball finding the back of the net, last touch by Zhou Gaoping. Maybe we'll give Abby the assist. Morgan shows some physical strength to win it. Leading the break, running right at the Chinese defense. Puts it on her right foot, and the shot will go wide. Alex Morgan showing you not only a bit of pace, but also physical strength as she held off the challenge to make her way in onto the edge of the 18 to get the shot off. You almost get the sense with a little over 6 minutes left here in this first half. There could be one more in the cards here for the U.S. before they make their way to the locker room for halftime. And it looks like China is going to make their first change on the night. Zhou Feifei, the 24-year-old midfielder, will come in, and that is the end of the night for Han Peng, the 22-year-old.
Substitution. Leaving the match, number 18, Han Peng. Entering the match, number 19, Zhou Feifei. The substitution occurred in the 40th minute.
Christy Rampone whistled for the tackle in the U.S.'s half. China will quickly put the ball back in play. Zhao Hong Li back for Wang Dongni. O'Reilly trying to step in to win it back here for the U.S. Zhang Rei. Not a bad idea on the first touch pass. U.S. will pick up possession in their own end. Carly Lloyd. Good distribution off her feet out wide for Kelly O'Hara. Shots overall so far here with about 5 minutes left in the first half. 7-3 in favor of the U.S., 2-1 in terms of shots on goal. As nightfall starts to approach here in Chester, Pennsylvania. O'Hara, she is quickly developing into a great attacking wingback for Pia Sundhage at that left back spot. Lepelbit. Good early first touch from Carly Lloyd. O'Reilly under some pressure. And knocks it out off of Lo Jiahuiye. Rampone and Margaret Donka almost acted as a screen to let that ball slip through for the U.S. O'Hara for Rachel Bueller. All sorts of real estate in front of Bueller, and she'll find Rapinoe, who's tucked inside from that left midfield spot. Didn't put enough zip on the pass to get it free for Carly Lloyd. Wei Xing. Intelligent ball from Lloyd to spring things out wide. This is much better here from the U.S. And just as I say that, an errant pass allows China to come back looking for a counter-attacking chance. Even numbers both ways. Wei Xin out wide now. Here's the first half substitute in Fei Fei. You wonder if there was an injury for Han Peng because she seemed to be pretty active in the midfield. But for one reason or another, Hao Wei, the acting head coach for China, deciding to make a change just before the halftime break. U.S. will pick up the throw deep in their own end with about 2 minutes left here in regulation in the first half. And a 2-1 lead here at PPL Park. Alex Morgan with the goal in the 34th minute. 2 minutes later, an own goal off of Chinese defender and captain Zhou Gaoping. Those coming back in response to the 23rd minute strike, first of her international career for Zhang Rui, the 23-year-old striker, standing over the ball now here for China. And now she'll leave it to the feet of Liu Shuqun. This is where China has to get creative because they know if they just serve a ball into the area, more than likely it's going to be won either by the U.S. Although the second chance right there. Abby and Hope, a little bit of miscommunication between the striker and the goalkeeper almost gave an open net chance for China. Watch it again, and I think Hope was immediately calling for this ball coming from the left side of your screen. And then at the end, you could see she really had no idea where it was after it deflected straight up in the air inside the 18. Flick forward from Lloyd, and then another one from O'Reilly. Morgan, back for Lepelbit. And the reset button here for the U.S. women's national team as it comes back for Hope Solo. I think it's fair to say it's been pretty dominant up the right side for the U.S. See if that changes here. Abby trying to get it off her feet. As our fourth official, Carrie Seitz, holds up the board. There's going to be 2 minutes minimum of stoppage time starting right now. And here comes the free kick for the U.S. from midfield, just surging all numbers forward. Long lofted ball, the goalkeeper coming. And Zhang Yue will punch it clear. Rapinoe looking for the follow-up. And it looked initially like it was going to deflect out for corner number 4 for the U.S., but instead, Margaret Domke points to the top of the 6 and a goal kick here for China. I think if you're China, you're probably going to be feeling pretty good heading into the break, should the 2-1 scoreline hold up. Shannon Box down in the middle part of the field, right at the center circle. Looks like she took a shot, trying to go up and win that header. Actually, she's back up on her feet now. China has put together a couple of sequences. They've had some looks. And they do have a goal, the first of the game, to show for that here tonight so far. The goal coming off that player, Zhang Rui, as the ball rolls softly into the feet of Hope Solo. Solo launching it in the direction of Abby Wambach. Comes loose here for Alex Morgan. She's got some attacking options. And things quickly dissipate. And that is followed by the whistle from Margaret Domke. So 45 minutes plus some stoppage time in the books here at PPL Park. And the U.S., after going down a goal, will take a 2-1 lead. Compliments of the own goal coming in the 36th minute of play off of Zhou Gaoping. They will take a 2-1 lead into the halftime break here, and the fans delighted here in Chester, Pennsylvania. We will give you a moment to take a break, step aside, hot sandwich, fill up your drink, whatever you need, and we will come back just a couple of minutes before we kick into half number 2. So your score as we hit halftime here at PPL Park, it is 2-1, the U.S. leading against China. We'll be back with more in just a bit here on USsoccer.com. Welcome back to PPL Park as we get set for the second half of play. Taking a look at some of the highlights from the first half. Rapinoe with a chance that missed at the near post. And then the U.S. with a great look through Carli Lloyd. The Chinese defense able to come to the rescue. And then this was the opening goal of the game, as it was a feed from Lo Jiahuie into the feet of Zhang Rui, her first international goal for China to give China the lead. The teams would battle back and forth, and then the U.S. would find a response through Alex Morgan. Her 23rd career goal with the U.S. in the 34th minute to make it 1-1, and 2 minutes later, an own goal bounces off the captain right there, Zhou Gaoping, to make it 2-1. Quick glance at your stats. Shots 7-5 in favor of the U.S. Both teams with 2 shots on goal, and officially no saves recorded for Hope Solo, but Zhang Yue, the 21-year-old goalkeeper for China, records a save. 3-1 on corners for the U.S. And you see the 2 offside called against China in the first half. By the way, the lone yellow card handed out by Margaret Dumka in the first half came in the 18th minute, and that was shown to the number 6 for China, Ren Weixing. So we're set to begin the second half here at PPL Park. Mark Rogandino with you. Happy to have you along here as we're streaming live on USsoccer.com. Second half action underway, and China will begin in possession of the ball. An attack from left to right across your computer screen in the all-white kits with the red socks and red numbers. Possession doesn't last long for China, as the U.S. will settle in with the ball at the feet of their goalkeeper, Hope Solo.
Out of the match is number 9, Heather O'Reilly. Entering the match.
And, as you're maybe hearing through the public address announcement here, Heather O'Reilly done for the night.
Now out of the match, number 10, Carli Lloyd.
Carli Lloyd also stepping out on the night. And the 2 substitutes coming in, 25-year-old Amy Rodriguez out of Southern California, hailing from Lake Forest, California, down in Orange County. And so far for Rodriguez, 7 goals in 2012, but keep in mind 5 of those came in one game in an absolute blowout against the Dominican Republic, the first game in 2012. The final score on that one was 14-0. Yes, I said 14-0. The other substitute that comes in here to open up the second half is the former UCLA Bruin, Lauren Cheney, who comes into the match. Chinese player down on the field, down by the near side. It's the 20-year-old Lo Jiahuie. And back up on her feet is Jiahuie. She was the youngest player on the Chinese roster at the 2008 Beijing Olympics. And in fact, received her first cap in those Olympics as a substitute in their opening match against Sweden. And she replaced a name that WPS fans will remember from the first season in women's professional soccer, Han Duan, who played for the Los Angeles Soul. Rapinoe trying to wake one into the space. Swanbach will run after it, fending off the challenge, and it's poked away. Good defending from Jiahuie. The 21-year-old defender had to muscle off against one of the strongest players in the women's game in Abby Wambach. Into the corner for Alex Morgan. Excellent skill by the 22-year-old to keep it alive. Back across on the back post and into the gloves of Zhang Yue, the goalkeeper. Good step in here from Rampone to win it right back. Rodriguez looking for Abby. Ball still loose and China will clear, but not out of danger quite yet. Lauren Cheney, soft little touch to get away from the pressure. Now Rapinoe has the overlapping help from Kelly O'Hara, but not the correctly weighted pass. Nonetheless, the U.S. will get the throw. Amy Rodriguez coming in the second half here, one of 4 players with strong ties to the Philadelphia area due to her time with the Philadelphia Independents in women's professional soccer. We're just underway here in the second half at PPL Park, normally the home of Major League Soccer's Philadelphia Union, but tonight it's all about the red, white, and blue. Alex Morgan, positive first touch, fending off the challenge, and she has her second! It was a decent ball up and over the top, but give Alex Morgan credit. Great skill to hold off the challenge from Lee Jiao-e. It's Christy Rampone who hits it up and over the top, but watch the bump here. And then she just fends off the challenge and just buries it with the left foot past the goalkeeper, Jiang Yue. Second on the night, 24th of her career, and the U.S. now with a 2-goal cushion. Exactly the start that Pia Sundhage wanted for the U.S. women's national team coming out of the break. Really in stark contrast. As you see, there's your confirmation. Stark contrast to the way the team started in the first half. It's a little bit of a slow start, but the engine is off and running now. This is Lauren Cheney. Touches it back for Christy Rampone. And now Rachel Bueller. Kelly O'Hara getting the chance to push forward from the left back spot. Weighted ball into the space for Rapinoe. Left-footed onto the far post. Oh, excellent ball and touched away by Gao Ping. U.S. will have their first corner of the second half, 4th of the match. It was Rapinoe who served all 3 corners in the first half, but Lauren Cheney will get the opportunity with the first one here in the second half. Lepelbit. See if she can keep things alive. Ray up the right side, and that one drifts out for a throw-in. O'Hara will play back through Bueller. Across for Christy Rampone, now Cheney. Cheney showing some versatility here tonight as she's stepping in to play a much more central role. Yes, that is a role she can fill without question. But if you recall back in the 2011 World Cup campaign, it was more of a wide role that she stepped into and really blossomed before our eyes in Germany in the World Cup. But that's one of the things that Pia Sundhage has been very forthcoming about, is the ability to have players like this, Kelly O'Hara, Megan Rapinoe, who can play central. And both Cheney and Amy Rodriguez, who've come on here in the second half, can both play a number of positions. Here is Cheney. Rodriguez asking for it. Trying to serve it in first time off the corner of the 18. Rodriguez battles back to win it and then is whistled for the tackle. A free kick for China. China need to be very careful at this point in the match, as we're almost 10 minutes into the second half, because yes, they want to try and surge forward to find a goal to get back into it, but they will leave themselves very vulnerable if they commit too many numbers into the attack. And with the strength of the U.S. offense, goals could come in bunches and it could get out of hand in a hurry, which on one hand would delight the fans here at PPL Park without question. Box slides to touch it forward, trying to keep the possession. Buehler nods it down for Rampone. Good ball from Lepelbit, early ball. Cheney gets it off her feet with the second touch. Rapinoe was in just a little too early before Shannon Box could control it to loft it forward in behind the back four of China. And consequently, Megan Rapinoe halted her run there, and so a throw here for China. If you're just joining us, Zhang Rui opened the scoring in the 23rd minute of play for China, but it's been all U.S. since then, including 2 goals from Alex Morgan and an own goal by one of the Chinese defenders to give the U.S. a 3-1 lead. Buehler, excellent ball over the top. O'Hara will bring it down. Gets away from one challenge. Put it onto the back post, looking for Abby. There's contact inside the area, but it's only going to be a goal kick for China. Abby's just so strong inside the area, specifically against some of these smaller Chinese defenders, that really they have to try anything they can to try and knock her off her stride. Well won by Buehler in the midfield. Pops loose here for A-Rod. Driving the attack forward, cuts it back onto her left foot. Cheney now for Rapinoe. Rapinoe gonna let one fly for the corner, and it goes just wide of the far post. We've seen her hit a laser like that before. And as I look down between the benches, it looks like China is gonna make their second substitution of the game. They made one late in the first half. And Ren Guixing, the lone player to pick up a yellow in the match so far, is now replaced by Li Wen, the 23-year-old midfielder.
Substitution occurs in the 56th minute.
Remember, international friendly, both teams allotted 6 substitutions on the night. As China will clear this one out for a throw here for the U.S., who, by the way, have Heather Mitts, another player with Philadelphia ties, on the bench. Becky Sauerbrunn, Sydney Leroux, Megan Klingenberg, who's actually from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, and is the lone player on the roster here tonight that is not officially part of the 18 for the Olympic roster. Wide for Rapinoe. A-Rod. Little move to get free, and then she looks for the upper corner. Good bit of skill from Amy Rodriguez, but she couldn't complete the movement. Amy Rodriguez has some fond memories of being here at PPL Park. As we take a look at it on the replay, watch the move here. Little stop and go. Didn't even have to touch the ball, but just the shoulder move threw the defenders off. Amy Rodriguez, WPS fans will remember, scored the decisive second goal in the Independence 2-0 Super Semifinal win over Magic Jack here at PPL Park. Hope Solo will clear from her own end. Kelly O'Hara there to clear. Cheney trying to get it off her feet quickly under some pressure. Wide for Rodriguez. Good skill, and now Lepelbit will send it out towards Alex Morgan at midfield. Approaching the hour mark with the U.S. having added a goal here in the second half. Second on the night for Alex Morgan. And leading 3-1 against China. Tonight's game here at PPL Park, part of 4 matches that the U.S. will have to gear up for the 2012 Olympics in London, where they will open up play against Colombia in Glasgow, Scotland, or excuse me, against France in Glasgow, Scotland at Hampden Park, followed by a match against Colombia in Scotland. Over the top for Morgan, just out of her reach to bring it down, but she has time to corral it at the edge of the 18. Cheney asking for it. Morgan going to swing it across toward the back post, and nobody home for the U.S., but misplayed by Zhang Yue, the goalkeeper, and out for the 5th corner on the night for the U.S. By the way, the 3rd game on the schedule for the U.S. in Olympic play is July the 31st when they take on Korea. And you know, for U.S. women's national team players, it's going to be a treat to take the field at Old Trafford, the home of Manchester United. Second corner of the second half. Cheney bending it onto the far post, punched across by Yue. See if the U.S. can come up with a second chance opportunity. Rampone tries to head it back towards the top of the 18. China quickly looking to counter. Box. Rapinoe asking for it. See if this ball will check up. It does. Chance to run right at the defense. Hong Lee standing there. Almost get the sense that the halftime chat from Pia Sundhage might have involved more possession for the U.S. It's a couple times now we've seen the ball come wide for Megan Rapinoe, and rather than just stepping on it and trying to get to the end line and drive across a good ball, she's been very patient, looking for a quality pass, just keep it to a 10, 12-yard ball, then those maybe a little bit more low percentage passes in the 20 to 25-yard range. I like it. Turned into a gorgeous evening here in Chester, PA on a Memorial Day weekend. Wishing all of you out there joining us on ussoccer.com a happy holiday weekend. As we're into the 62nd minute of play. The U.S. now with 11 shots overall to just 3 for China. End of the night for Christie Rampone as she picks up cap number 257. The former 3-sport star at Monmouth University. So Christie Rampone comes off here in the 62nd minute of play. And in the process, she hands the captain's armband, I believe, to Abby Wambach, excuse me. And that is correct. Coming in for Christie is Becky Sauerbrunn, picking up her 21st cap with the U.S. women's national team. The 26-year-old from St. Louis, Missouri. There's Kelly O'Hara coming inside. Space starts to open up. She could have taken another touch, but elected to pull the trigger from about 25 yards out. And really not much trouble for China and goalkeeper Zhang Yue. Substitution for Pia Sundhage, 3rd on the night. A-Rod. Maybe a second chance opportunity after the ball slipped through. Gao Ping, the captain, almost misplayed it and gave Amy Rodriguez the opportunity to convert. China has not had much positive going forward here in the second half. This is one of the few times that they've ventured this far up on the field, in fact, here in this second 45 minutes. Rapinoe, soft touch to leave it there for Buehler. Now box for Cheney. Plenty of real estate out in front of Kelly O'Hara. Love the quick one-touch passing here from the U.S. women's national team. Can Morgan keep it going? Just drifts off the end of her left foot, and China back in possession in their own end. Feifei, long diagonal ball up and over the top for Jia Huiyi. Wang Xin, and first touch of the second half for the gloves of Hope Solo, I believe. She's had a goal kick or two here in the second half, but that's been the extent of any action for the U.S. goalkeeper. See, the spacing here in the second half is much better for the U.S. as well. And consequently, the ball is covering a lot more of the pitch and doing a lot more work the way it should be. Good vision, see if O'Hara can get there. It's sent forward by Zhao Hong Li. Buehler back, or excuse me, Sauerbrunn, her first touch since she came on a moment ago. She sends that one back. Cheney seems very composed in that central midfield role. Buehler drives it into the feet of Rapinoe. U.S. looking for a surging run forward as Rapinoe tries to pick out Abby Wambach. Central circle now for Xu Qin. Across here for Zhao Hong Li. The 22-year-old right back sends it up the right side for Wang Xin. Good effort there from Wambach to win it and keep it alive. O'Hara for Buehler now. Working on the shape of the defense and the ability to play through the central midfield were two of the keys Pia Sundhage, U.S. head coach, told me she wanted to get out of this match. Rapinoe tucks inside. Oh, a good idea to try and touch it through for Alex Morgan on the early ball. As we approach the midway point of this second half, and the U.S. now with a 3-1 lead. Is there a hat-trick hero on the night for Alex Morgan? She continues to set the pace in goal scoring in 2012 so far for Pia Sundhage's squad. The 2 tonight now put her at 14 in 2012 in 12 games.
People's Republic of China, third
Substitution coming up here for China.
Now leaving the match, number 16, Wang Xin.
The striker's going to come into the match. Wang Xin is out.
The substitution occurs in the 60th.
And Xu Yanluo will come in, the 20-year-old forward. See if it can give China a little more of a threat in the attack. As I said, it hasn't been too many chances for the visitors here tonight to get forward into the final third of the field in the second half. Their best string of play came in the opening 15 minutes, and just when the U.S. thought they were starting to get the match under control, China tallied the first goal of the game. But it has been one-way traffic here at PPL Park since that time, leading to 3 straight goals for the U.S. I think the crowd here growing a little bit anxious. They'd like to see a 4th and maybe even a 5th on the night. Just out of the reach of Abby Wambach. Bueller setting up in the center circle to win the first ball, and she does. Good collection now from Rodriguez. Excellent exchange between Shannon Box, Amy Rodriguez, and Megan Rapinoe. You can see that anytime the ball moves quickly for the U.S. is when they really show technically just how much better they are than China. It forces China to just chase, and consequently creates a lot of space for players on that second and third touch. Amy Lepelbit done a good job in defense tonight. And if you missed the point in the first half, it really turns into a back 3 for the U.S. when they push forward the outside backs. Offside flag will come up against Shuyan Liu, who just came on. You don't really see it with the right back in Lepelbit pushing forward as much. Remember, Lepelbit played at the left back spot during the World Cup campaign, but the coaching staff for the U.S. feels she's just much stronger on that right side. And fortunately for the U.S., Kelly O'Hara has very much come on strong at the left back position. Sauerbrunn. Good turn from Cheney. Playing the 1-2 with Abby. But Wambach didn't see the return pass coming and halted her run, so the ball drifts back here for China. 72nd minute of play here at PPL Park. Happy to have you along for our live coverage of this international friendly between the U.S. and China right here on USsoccer.com. The U.S. looking to make it 17 matches unbeaten against the Chinese national team. And it would be 14 wins in that span. That's a string that dates all the way back to March of 2003. Official numbers coming in as to the attendance here at PPL Park here tonight. Officially a sellout. Capacity at 18,500 or right around there, and the official number here tonight, 18,573, to see what looks to be another U.S. win. Cheney gets tangled up at the top of the 18 with Zhou Feifei. Got to give credit to the people here in the Philadelphia area. So much passion, so much enthusiasm for the game, and even specifically for the U.S. women's national team. You could see the new U.S. jerseys out on the streets of Philadelphia yesterday and today. While I was out watching the men's national team win against Scotland last night, there was people talking about the buzz of this game being played at PPL Park here tonight. Little cross into the area. U.S. going to have to step up to defend here. Kelly O'Hara will clear. And then Lepelbit steps in to get it outside the 18. Chance to counter now here for the U.S. if they really decide to step on it. Cheney looking upfield as Alex Morgan tried to create some width for the team. But instead, the U.S. will just play across the back and into the feet of Hope Solo. Abby flicking it forward, a collision right there at midfield, but both players back up on their feet. Rapinoe chasing. Chuyen Liu plays it in, and a giveaway by China. Rapinoe will step on it. Good firm ball from Shannon Box into the feet of Megan Rapinoe. Now Cheney. Rodriguez, time to turn on the ball. All sorts of space. China really not much energy in trying to close things down, and consequently the U.S. will bring the ball out wide here. Kelly O'Hara. U.S. starting to show their fitness as well. O'Hara trying to cut it inside. Good tackle, though, from Xiao Hong Li. O'Hara wins it back, though. Can she get into the corner of the 18? Firm cross. China there to defend. Good win back by the U.S. Morgan looking for her third on the night as she unleashed a left-footed shot from the top of the 18. Still alive on the attack here for the U.S. Across for Amy Rodriguez. Chips it out wide. Lepelbit, a rare attacking run up the right side. And Amy Lepelbit's going to be whistled for the contact just inside China's 18. Not so sure about that. There's been a couple of instances here tonight where some of the Chinese players have really just picked up the landing gear and flopped, to be frank. I would have to say Margaret Domka, our referee here tonight, has done a pretty stellar job, though, making sure she's picked out those occasions when she should use the whistle and when she shouldn't. Cameras are out. Flashbulbs popping. And a packed house here at PPL Park as the U.S. are a quarter of an hour away from wrapping up their 11th win in 2012. The team will then take a little bit of time off from any competitive matches before they head to Halmstad, Sweden for a game against Sweden and a game against Japan. They'll get one more crack at Japan. The teams have already met here in 2012, and Japan, as I was discussing with some of the players yesterday, really is the only team that seems to have the U.S.'s number. The U.S. now, in terms of shots on goal, 4-1 against China. And I believe it is Zhang Rui, the lone goal scorer for China, that is down in the middle part of the park right now. Here was the first goal on the night for the U.S. as Alex Morgan, great finish. No reason to put much power behind it. She just coolly and calmly tucked it home with the side foot. And then 2 minutes later, the U.S. would benefit from some bad defending here from China as their captain, Zhou Gaoping, headed the ball in for an own goal to make it 2-1. And then into the second half, just 5 minutes in, Alex Morgan doing all the heavy lifting here, pushing off the challenge from Wang Dongni, and then slotting it home past the goalkeeper Zhang Yue. And that is where we stand at 3-1 on the night. That's going to be the end of the night for the Chinese goal scorer, Zhang Rui. And she is actually even stretchered off here in the 78th minute of play. She'll make way for the 23-year-old forward, Ma Xiaoshu. Not a ton of experience on this young Chinese side. The oldest player, the captain, just 25 years of age, and Although a couple of players, like the captain, Gao Ping, as well as the 20-year-old striker, Jia Huiye, have had experience at the 2000 Olympics in Beijing, but really 3/4 of this roster are all young players who just have, if anything, a handful of caps and are getting familiar with the opportunity to step out and wear the Chinese national team jersey. Haven't heard the chants of U.S. from the crowd here at PPL Park much here in this second half. A goal here for the U.S. would certainly bring the noise level right back up to where it was throughout the first half. Good tackle from Shannon Box to push it away. Rapinoe's going to come in and touch the ball away. And Bueller finds the feet of Kelly O'Hara. Back inside for Rapinoe. Lauren Cheney quick to get it off her feet. Excellent one-touch passing from the U.S. as the ball finds the far side and Amy Lepelbit. Jiayu A, well positioned to bring that one back in for China, but this has been about the extent of the touches for Hope Solo here in the second half. Coming outside of her area, getting involved as a fifth defender, if you will. Cheney. Good skill from Kelly O'Hara. Looking for Abby. And should be a throw. Abby Wambach pleading her case. Here we go.
Substitution now leaving the match. Number 6, Amy Lepelbit. Entering the match, number 11, Sydney LaRue.
So maybe it's not just the 18,500 plus here tonight that would like to see a fourth goal from the U.S. As Pia Sundhage goes to the bench, takes off defender Amy Lepelbit, who comes out in the 81st minute after picking up her 67th cap for the national team. And on comes Sydney LaRue. She was the U.S. Young Female Athlete of the Year in 2011. She will pick up cap number 10. And she's already found the net 7 times. The former UCLA Bruin. She's got tons of pace, LaRue, as Rapinoe is tripped up here, and a free kick chance coming up here for the U.S. It'll be Cheney to serve it. Looking for Abby on the back post, heads it back across. Couple of Chinese defenders there. U.S. looking for the second chance opportunity. A-Rod will hit it with the right foot.
Ladies and gentlemen, U.S. Soccer and PPL Park, thank you for attending tonight's game. Please give yourselves a big round of applause for tonight's solid crowd of 18,573.
I'm sure you can hear that coming through from the public address announcer. Announcing the number, 18,573, a sellout here at PPL Park. Perfect venue for this type of game. Wambach, can she make the perfect pass? No, a shot, she does one better. 4-1 USA. Off the throw from Alex Morgan, and Abby does the rest, fending off the challenge and a beautiful volley into the far side netting. Now 4 straight goals for the U.S. after going down 1-0 at about the midway point of the game in the first half. And it is goal number 135 for Abby Wambach in a U.S. national team uniform. Exactly what the fans at PPL Park wanted to see. You look at the U.S. side, and they have gotten stronger as the minutes have worn on. I alluded to it in the first half. Started a little bit slow, but as the game got going, started to rev the engine, and the touches got better. On the same page got better, and the goals started to come. Now 4-1 for the U.S. As Pong Fong Yua is going to come in here, a defender. It looks at this point that acting head coach Hao Wei, former defender himself back in his playing days for China, is just going to try and put a plug in the U.S. offense, a stopgap, if you will. Not a bad ball in here, and guess who's there to head it away? Abby Wambach. Ball stayed in. Buehler there. O'Hara will send it out to midfield, looking for Rapinoe. Brings it down, maybe a hint of a handball, but she gets away with it, trying to time the run to put it in. I guess the lone blemish on the night, really, if you look at it in terms of a U.S. point of view, will be the goal for China that came in the 23rd minute of play. It was really one of two times in the first half that China got into a dangerous spot. The first time, they banged one off the crossbar. And the second time, Zhang Rui, earning her second cap for China, bent one into the far side netting, giving China the lead. It only lasted for about 10 minutes. Leroux, and it's pushed away. Our first good look at Sydney Leroux. No question a future star for the U.S. women's national team. A great story in the sense that she had the opportunity to play for Canada or for the U.S. I think it's working out pretty good for the former UCLA Bruin. Excellent tackle from Box, and then Cheney just flicks it out wide for Amy Rodriguez. Looks like China's going to make one more change before we get into stoppage time.
People's Republic of China,
Wang Li-se, a young 20-year-old midfielder, will come into the game.
Entering the match, number 21, Wang Li-se. The substitution occurs in the 87th minute.
Margaret Domke overruling the decision by Marlene Duffy, the near side AR. Duffy had motioned it was a throw for the U.S., but instead our center referee says, nope, it's going to China. Nonetheless, the U.S. win the possession right back. It's Cheney trying to give it to Rodriguez, and a clumsy challenge in the center circle sends Amy Rodriguez down, and in the process gives the U.S. a free kick. One more chance maybe for Rachel Buehler or Becky Sauerbrunn to just loft one in between the top of the 18 and the penalty spot and find Abby Wambach to flick one either on target or find one of her teammates. It'll be Buehler looking to the corner of the 18. Lofts one up. The goalkeeper comes. Abby is there as it's misplayed by Zhang Yue, the Chinese keeper. China will look to counter. Cheney tripped up inside of China's half as we're inside the final 2 minutes of regulation. Well, it would be about this time in any other match when you probably start to think about player of the game. I think you probably could get a pretty good support behind Alex Morgan. She's played stellar here tonight, and when given a couple of opportunities, finished them off. 2 great finishes, 1 in each of the 2 halves. She scored the U.S.'s first goal of the night. That one coming in the 34th minute of play, the 23rd of her career. And then 5 minutes into the second half, she made it a 3-1 game. It's the 24th of her career. As I said at the top of the broadcast, she likes playing against China. Scored her first ever international goal against China back in October of 2010. Being told 2 minutes minimum of stoppage time to close this one out. Hope you enjoyed the broadcast, streaming live from PPL Park tonight on ussoccer.com. I know the 18,573 that were here tonight certainly did. For those of you that couldn't make it, obviously the folks at US Soccer doing their best to make sure that you're in on the action. Every part of this 4-1 win here tonight against China. Maybe it'll be more than 4-1. Box trying to win it and push it through for Leroux. Wide here for China. Let the chance of USA take you home here for the last few seconds. Into the corner. Lise. And it's not often you see the team losing 4-1 using the time-wasting tactics in the corner. Sydney Leroux coming in with the challenge from behind and upending Pong Fong Yua.
Ladies and gentlemen, a yellow card caution has been issued to USA's number 11.
So Sydney Leroux is going to pick up a yellow card here. Just a second yellow handed out on the night by Margaret Domke. And really the lone test probably here in the second half for Hope Solo and the U.S. defense. Cheney heads it away and Solo will hover underneath it. U.S. going to try and break out maybe for one more. Sauerbrunn. Bueller. Morgan. Good movement of the ball. Shannon Box delivers a perfectly weighted ball over the top. O'Hara running right at the Chinese defense. In for Alex Morgan. Alex Morgan looking for the far post. And wouldn't that have been a thing of beauty to see her find the hat trick in the closing seconds of stoppage time. Nonetheless, the U.S. will match the number of corners they had in the first half. Good first touch there from Alex Morgan. And just mishit it a bit. Third corner of this second half, 6th of the match for the U.S. Short for Alex Morgan. Back out here for Lauren Cheney. Bending it in. Rapinoe's there on the back post for Leroux. As the flag stayed down. And finally, Margaret Domke's whistle comes to bring this one to a close. And listen to the applause from the sellout crowd at PPL Park. "4-1 is your final score as the U.S. improved to 11 wins, 1 loss, and 1 draw in 2012. And now there is only 3 matches remaining till they begin their Olympic campaign in London, including the next 2 in Halmstad, Sweden, in the middle of June against Sweden, and a couple of days later against Japan." What a night here at PPL Park, as 18,500 plus get to see the U.S. take down China, and it makes a 17-match unbeaten run for the USA against China. Certainly a young Chinese team that is trying to find their identity and trying to get themselves back into the rankings of the world's elite in the women's game. I hope you enjoyed the coverage here tonight on ussoccer.com. For all of the folks involved from US Soccer, from top to bottom, including Jonathan Tannenwald assisting me here at the goalkeeper on Twitter. You can follow me on Twitter as well at @mrogandino. We hope you enjoyed the coverage. Hats off to the U.S. women's national team. A fantastic performance and a 4-1 win here against China on the night. I'm Mark Rogandino. Thanks so much for joining us. So long from PPL Park.